This is the Third Eye Junkie. Kind of rough today. Coming at you. If you look at my site, you'll see the Kundalini awakening from 10 years ago. Now I explained it. Now it's happening again. Since the virus, I've been doing all this meditation and work. The difference is it's much stronger. The blocks are unbelievable. I feel like it's all being pulled apart in different ways. My wife is a Reiki master, Brenda. She's been doing some treatments on me. And I've been doing the funky chicken all over the place. This thing is different because I'm getting a much deeper understanding. And I know I'm speak the truth because you just have this, I don't know, you just know these things that you don't know even that you know it. And other things are what we've known this for a while called truth shivers. Where you speak the truth, you have the shiver that go through you, so you know what you're saying is truthful. So the first thing, I'm going to start doing these little segments of when I remember, when I get these downloads, or whatever you want to call them. So the first one is from yesterday. And what I've realized is your DNA are photon receptors. So when we get these downloads from the cosmos, whatever that spiritual people talk about, or New Age people I should say, well, this download is coming and it's going to alter DNA or change the vibration or whatever. I see this now. So your DNA are receptors, light receptors, and they pick up photons. Now, as you start to wake up, you get this Kundalini shivering, the energy running up and down your spine, nadis in your hands feel like they're always like vibrating like crazy. So I've studied a bit about Christ consciousness, the true teachings of Jesus Christ. And certain music, it used to be Ramadasa Seso hung as a healing Kundalini yoga meditation. And that would take me out and I would just sit and I would cry and go higher and higher and higher and higher as the Kundalini started to rise. That was 10 years ago. This doesn't really have that much any effect on me, maybe a little bit, nothing major. I was listening to Paul Wilbur. It's really weird because his music would be like Jewish chants, but he's a Christian, so I'm not sure if they're like Jews that belong to Jews that Jews that believe that Jesus Christ was the Son of God. Because there's a whole group of new Jews that are starting to believe that the Messiah is part of the Jewish thing, which is kind of contrary to the old aspect of Judaism, where God was a prophet but wasn't the Son of God. That God saw Jesus. But anyways, so, and if you've seen any pictures of Jesus, his hands are always out to his sides. They're always standing like this. The camera's not picking up as much as I want it to. His hands are facing outward, and they form a V here. Okay? This is a receptor. This is tuning into Christ consciousness, tuning into those energies or photons or whatever that's coming at us. And no difference between Satori, Kundalini awakening, or touched by the Holy Spirit. The reason the touched by the Holy Spirit has emphasis because it's a Christian thing. So the Christians say, I'm a Christian and I have this amazing feeling to me, I've been touched by the Holy Spirit. Hinduism, Buddhism may say it's a Satori from a Buddhist standpoint. My lineage is then Zen Buddhism, and Hinduism may say it's Shakti energy that's waking up, which is the Kundalini energy, let's say. But different religions look at it differently. But if you notice this position, with the hands like that, it creates a receptor. This is a mudra. In Zen, we do a mudra where our right back of our hand is in our left hand, what quiets the mind, the monkey mind. And our fingers are flat. They don't form a hill nor or a belly. They're crossed like this. And you put your mind there when you're meditating, more or less. And you realize when you start to lose your meditation because your fingers unconnect. So every time I know that I'm lost in thought, I find my fingers apart like this. When your fingers are together and you put your mind between that little gap, you're truly meditating. You're now connected to that mudra source, what could be Buddha, let's say. So this one down here, if you see all the pictures of Jesus Christ, his hands are always in the same position. That's the connection to the Christ consciousness religion. That was the first thing that I realized a couple of days ago. And as I change, also because the Kundalini is flowing, I can put your hands in different mudra positions. For some reason, you'll start to move around like part of the funky chicken is doing these different positions. If you look at especially Hinduism, with the different hand positions are what we call mudras. But there's different mudras for different energies. And your body is like a huge transmitter, and you're tuning into those energies through those mudras. Somebody might have already said this, I don't know, but this is something that has come to me. Now today, I spent about 3 hours crying my eyes out, uncontrollable crying. I was listening to Schindler's List. Music was my main trigger. Listening to Schindler's List, the soundtrack. So 2 things to say about that. I truly believe, if you know, let me know, the person who did the soundtrack is a Holocaust survivor. Because within the music is the pain and suffering of the Jewish people. So as I started to listen to this music, I could feel the pain, the suffering, the horror, the fear of the Jewish people. I sat there and I cried for like 4 hours straight, and that's too much. 3 hours straight, just bawling my eyes out on the kitchen floor. My wife thought I was kind of strange. She came to help me. Said, okay, I guess I'll do this. It's getting too much. But what I realized is this empathy, empathic aspect of humans is a higher state of consciousness. And the reason behind that is because as you start to evolve, you realize everything's interconnected. Why there's some spiritual people don't eat meat? First thing, it tastes like crap. I still eat meat. I need to get grounded still. I have a chronic pain condition, and I need the iron in the meat, or I will die. So we'll see what happens with that down the road. But it's like eating yourself. So why would you want to eat yourself? Why would you want to hurt somebody else because you're hurting yourself? Now as the 4th dimension, as we move up and ascend to the next dimension, the 4th dimension or whatever it may be, everything's a lot lighter, things happen a lot quicker. You might not even have to eat. You may have to just be able to pull the nutrients from the oxygen to feed your body. David Wilcock has been talking about this in his Ascension series that I paid to watch. I've read all his books. Most of the stuff is what he's already said, but every once in a while he'll put a gem in there and new stuff. So, as I was sitting there, I could feel the suffering. There's sort of the DNA of the people. Now they're actually saying at this point through science that generations, the DNA, what's happened to us as a species, is stored. The memories are stored in the DNA. And the DNA is a hologram, meaning that one piece of that hologram, or that one piece of that DNA, has a whole entire pattern in it for humanity. And it may have all the memories in it for humanity as well, or at least for your area of humanity. Then I thought, wow, okay, maybe I was a Jewish person and I died in the Holocaust, and that's where I'm getting all this suffering and pain from, and these memories from. And I thought on a deeper level, well, my dad's name was Adolf. So my great-great-grandfather, German descent, after the war, why the fuck would you name your kid Adolf? Or your grandchild Adolf? Well, keep the name in the thing, but come on, this is Hitler. That's ridiculous. You wouldn't do that unless you are SS. You're part of the Gestapo. So then I thought maybe in my DNA I was part of the Gestapo, and that's why I'm feeling such pain, because I'm reliving my ancestral history of being a freaking Nazi. Just a thought. I don't know. I haven't figured it out. But every once in a while I have these really insights. And that's the three. So my wife says, "Oh, why do you have to feel the pain of the Jew people? And why do you need to suffer? This is supposed to be a good feeling you're supposed to be having, and that." And I went, well, why are we here on Earth? It's a learning. And we learn through our senses, through the 3D and our emotions. So she's saying, why can't you have good experience? Why do you have to have negative experience? And I'm thinking, well, emotions to the divinity, the divine, God, whatever you want to say, how you put it in your own words, the source is, I think, a word I'm going to use from now on. We're here as the University of Earth to learn, for our higher self, our spirit to learn. Why do we forget? Because if we knew everything, we wouldn't be learning lessons the same way we're learning it now. As the veil is a little bit being lifted, and I'm starting to see and understand more and more, emotions are tools. Okay? It's like having a hammer. You can use a hammer, the hammer nail is the right tool, or you could use it to smash somebody's head in. Although you're using it from the wrong tool. Well, you shouldn't be using it to smash somebody's head in, regardless. But you understand what I mean. So she says, well, why are you taking all this suffering? Well, it's a tool to teach me from the 3D concept of suffering. A happiness tool is a tool to teach my higher self the aspect of happiness. But Buddha says there's the 4 noble truths. The first one is everybody suffers. Suffers a part of life. Okay? There's a reason we suffer. And the reason we suffer is we cling to things that we like and we push things away. So the more you have less effect on the materialistic world of clinging to or pushing things away, the less you're going to suffer. And Buddhism says we do that through the Eightfold Path of living a right life and having the right kind of job and the right mind and the right meditation and so on and so forth. So emotions are here to teach us lessons. That's why we have negative and positive emotions. And the veil is there so we can learn these lessons, because if we knew everything, we knew that time was like this, past, present, and future is happening at the same time. If you go to the future, things are moving much quicker pace. So if I leave in the present and I go to the future, one day in the future is going to feel like a year away from here. If you go to the past, the opposite happens there. You could be here one day here, could feel like 6 months living in the past. Does it make sense? The way that time is, it's on a vertical plane. It's not a horizontal plane. It's not chronological order as we think it is. It's done the other way. So if you could see everything at once, first it would drive you nuts if you're not ready for it. And secondly, you wouldn't be motivated to learn any lessons on Earth. That's about my first talk. If you have any comments, you think I'm full of crap or whatever the case may be, please leave me a message and let me know. And if you know how I can deal with the blockages better, so I don't drain my batteries out, you can let me know that too. Namaste. Thank you.